What's up, guys? This is the last of the Academy videos, at least for the first round of signings. We're going to cover the last two teams. We're going to cover Spurs and West Ham. I know there's been a lot of interest in these last two teams, as a lot of guys have hit me up saying, I haven't signed yet. Well, a lot of you guys are going to sign here. So let's start with the Spurs and kick this off. In the beginning, I'm going to admit, we were a little bit worried that the Spurs weren't going to get a lot of letters of intent. Coach Tim was a little worried. In the beginning, there was only like 3 letters of intent. We put out the call across the league for letters, and then they started pouring in. As an Arsenal fan, it kind of warmed my heart a little bit to see that the Spurs weren't getting many letters of intent, I'll be honest, but we want to have a competitive landscape, so I'm glad to see that a lot of people transferred their letters, and some of the new letters came in for the Spurs. So let's go through them a little bit. Like I said, once the call came out, they ended up with 13 letters, which doesn't seem like much. It was tied for the second least amount of letters received, but they signed 9 guys out of the 11. I mean, that is the highest percentage of conversion that we've had. 9 out of the 13 letters, they locked down players. So let's start with who they locked down. It's ironic they locked down 4 different forwards, and you're like, 4 forwards? What are they going to do with all those? I'm not really sure yet, but they're obviously focused on wrinkling the nets. So they went out and got a lot of scoring power. So let's start off with who they signed. All right, I may be a little biased with their first signing. They signed Joe Chapman, the league leader in goals, who led that Derry line to a 10-0 record. Yeah, like I said, I'm a little biased, but he's definitely a high potential guy. He's active on the site, so I expect him to be a star in this league. They also lock up striker from Shamrock, Jacob Bolotin, who we around the league affectionately call Champagne. We'll do some videos later about where that nickname came out of. But he led Shamrock. Shamrock was a struggling Irish Academy team, but he led them with 6 goals. He's a force, man. He's big. He's bruising. He's going to do a lot up top for this team. They also scored on Brandon Lawrence, who is a pacey Englishman, an all-around player who enjoys assisting as much as he loves scoring, and that's a huge talent to have on a team, a guy that's going to look for teammates but also put the ball in the back of the net. Both of these guys are high potential lads. And rounding out with their fourth forward, they went out and inked Leo Coy. Now, again, I'm not sure where a lot of these forwards are going to play, but you can expect Leo Coy to play on the left side somewhere, dumping in crosses and lacing the net on free kicks. The guy's a good player, and he's going to be a free kick specialist. We've seen him in some of the simulations just wrinkling the nets with some of those laser beams. In the middle, the Spurs inked one of the highest potential players in the game, Morgan DeMarco. He was the captain of the Shamrock team, and while that team struggled, it wasn't because of a lack of leadership. He understands the game. The guy's a field general. Rumor has it he was looking at some other teams, but when he saw that the Spurs were struggling to snag some players, he switched his letter of intent to sign with the Spurs. Just shows you what a class act that player is. All right, so who else did they sign in the middle? They signed an unproven guy in Adam Fletcher. While we don't know about much about Adam Fletcher, we do know the dude's huge. He's 6'3". He's over 200 pounds. Man, he's going to be a force in the middle. And with DeMarco's leadership, I think his potential's pretty limitless. So in the back, the Spurs signed Chris Dunn and Joe Ferris. Both of these guys could be hit or miss. I can't explain that any more succinctly. They could be game changers in this league. They also could just completely fizzle out. I don't know which way it's going to go, but it's going to be interesting to watch. Ferris grew up a Spurs lad, so his motivation could be ignited, right? It could ignite him on the pitch. He's getting a chance to play for the team that he always grew up watching. So that's something to keep your eye on. Protecting the sticks is going to be Jack Thompson, who notched 6 clean sheets in the Irish Academy. That's a lot of clean sheets. I think it was second to Tim Farmer's 10. So he's also a fan favorite. People love him. They love him because he makes big saves in clutch situations. Plus, he's got that sweet hairdo. So overall, 9 signings for the Spurs. huge day for the Spurs. And they're going to get a grade of an A+. It's really tough to not get an A+ when you're looking at some of these strikers that they signed. I mean, that top line is going to be devastating. Okay? So they get a grade of an A+. So let's move on to West Ham. West Ham was one of those teams that I was a little concerned, much like Aston Villa, much like Everton. I wasn't sure if they were going to get a lot of letters of intent, especially with all the top teams out there looking for players. But guess what? They knocked down 20 letters of intent. 20. I think they were second or third, tied for second in the league with the amount of letters of intent. Now, they started out a little bit slow, but when people realized that Coach Iago from Derry was moving over to manage West Ham, the letters started pouring in. And you know what? I got to say, they did a pretty darn good job. I mean, Iago wasn't worried at all about taking over the Hammers with those 20 letters of intent. I mean, the guy comes with a reputation of developing winners. So let's talk about some of the players that Iago got. All right, he went out and got a guy, first and foremost, that has always wanted to play for him, Chris Dornbosch, striker extraordinaire. He was second in the league in scoring. He notched 9 goals in the Irish League, and including that brilliant hat trick. If you haven't seen the 3 goals that Dornbosch netted on that hat trick, go on the site, go to Dornbosch's page, click on his video, and watch some of those shots. I mean, unbelievable. So Dornbosch, who's been waiting patiently to find a team to sign with, has been locked up by the Hammers. Okay? Big time, high potential talent. In the middle, the Hammers signed 3 players, including one of the best known players from the Irish Academy, and Daniel Hutchinson. Hutch, as Iago calls him, quote, is the only guy I had my eyes on to control the middle of the field. The only dude I wanted there. That's some really high praise from Iago. Also in the middle is Andy Clendenin. He's a high potential big man. He's 6'3". He's over 200 pounds, but he's best known for having the sweetest surfer Goldilocks hairdo in the game. He's always fixing it for the camera. What a cheeseball. All right, who else did they sign? They got a late signing yesterday, got a letter of intent in from Robert Hurtado. He's going to likely see significant time on the pitch early. He's a mid to high potential guy. He could be a game breaker, but he could completely flame out too. If he commits himself, you can expect to see a lot of Robert Hurtado in the middle of the field. In the back, dude, this is where the Hammers excelled. I mean, compare them to any academy in the league now. That back is amazing. They picked up probably what's going to be the best backfield in the game. Matteo Marin, he was the captain of that Cup champion Sligo team, is just a field general that anchors this line. He's got a head for the game, said one manager. He is an absolute game changer on the pitch. According to Iago, he was his top target out of all players. Talk about high praise. A guy who was coaching Derry to a title, an Academy League title, said there's one dude I want, and that was the guy. So with him and Hutchinson and Dornbosch up top, I mean, right straight down the middle, you just have absolute potential. Also in the back, the Hammers, pun intended, nailed it again. They signed the dynamic duo of Puyol and Maldini. Both of these guys came into Fenn in the Irish League, and upon their arrival, made Fenn a force to be reckoned with. We were talking to one of the scouts, and he said, they got both of these guys? That's ridiculous. I agree with that. The fact that they both got Maldini and Puyol and Matteo, oh man. All in all, it was a really great week for the Hammers, but they're still short a keeper. But really, with that back line, do they even need one? In the end, they signed 7 guys this week, and they got a grade of an A. 2 great teams picked up some really great players. So that concludes the first round of this academy signing process. We're going to be doing a couple of more videos over the next few days as more letters of intent come in and more teams start to fill in so we can start playing some of these academy games. I can't impress enough to you guys. Thank you so much. 20 countries represented in this league. We have well over 100 players. We just added 3 new players to the league today. I think we're at 118. It's just been a fantastic experience so far. And this league, again, is only as good as you make it. Thank you so much for your effort on the site. Thank you so much for putting stuff on the site, content, banter. We opened a Discord today. So if you have a Discord or don't have a Discord, just download the Discord app. It's super small. It's super easy. You can turn off notifications. You can turn on notifications. Sign up. We can do daily banter there and keep being active on the site. Thank you so much and congratulations to the teams who have locked down some of these excellent players, and especially congratulations to the players. I hope you got the team that you wanted. If you didn't, show that team that didn't take you why they should have. Have a great day and be safe out there, guys.